Oops.
Hey, Maury. What's up?
Remember to post the links and all that.
Yeah, I just gotta get the links first, then I can post them. Bam. Look at that. Maury. Bam. Look at that. What a pug. Anyway, let me get these links up real quick. People are going to start pouring in the meantime because, you know, you got people who are just going to do that. Who they basically have your thing on speed dial or whatever. But I'm also going to change the name of it. I should probably do that as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to cover you a little bit better.
We should give Maury like a Sith Lord cloak. We're on episode 3 of PugCast, right? Episode 3. Guest starring.
Product placement right here.
They can't even see it, but okay.
All this advertising revenue.
Hello. There we go. There we go. Now it's time to go back to our channel.
Placement.
Product pepperoni.
There you go.
Wow. Dang. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that face. What a boy.
Here's the next one.
What a boy. Yo, something on your computer just...
Alright, I'm going to break these up.
Alright. PugCast episode 3.
There you go. I'll give you a little... He's like burying his face in there. Are they really that good?
Oh, wow. That's some aggressive eating. The likes of which I've never seen.
Look, he's moved. No, see, look. I have the pieces over here, and he's eyeing them.
Maybe you should just cover yourself in pepperoni.
Look, now he can't see him anymore. I moved him out of his view. Oops. He saw that one.
The heck? No. Remove that. Yeah, I want to remove that. Check this out, Dad. You see this?
Right.
Look at my end. No. Physically come around and look at my end of things, right? Check out the sick transition they're about to get. You see Maury's face right here? Hey, Maury. Look at this. This is what they see. And then it just slowly fades into his face. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3rd episode of PugCast. We are on number 3, right? Or is it number 2?
Boy, I don't know.
Let me check. Let me check the status of PugCast. Oh, wow.
It was a majestic yawn right there.
Make Maury great again. 4 more naps. Can you please mute that?
Yeah.
Mute it, you idiot.
Wonder why oh no, it is plugged in.
I'm just going to check if we really are on PugCast 3. That's almost 100. At least it is to Maury and his tiny little brain. Oh, yeah. I just want to point this out. Oh, whoa. That's not good.
Good shot of Maury eating.
Apparently, we're on episode 4 now. I got to change that.
You got to trim your mustache. Either that's a Maury hair or it's like an errant.
Okay,
so you got like one hair that's like longer than everything.
All right, Dad,
else.
I have to admit, I made a mistake.
Okay.
The last episode I titled PugCast number 2 when it was actually the 3rd episode.
All right.
And this one I titled number 3. So let me just quickly fix
I'm
that.
serious. You should probably go get us scissors now.
But I already trimmed this.
Yeah, you missed one hair and it's like 2 inches long. You know?
Oh, I feel it.
I know.
Let me just get this out before we turn the cameras on.
No, you missed it.
Whatever.
Look, somebody's gonna notice it. All right, I'll go like this if you need to like brush it back.
They definitely know it
so
now.
long.
They definitely know it now because of the fact that you pointed out. Go get some scissors. Get some scissors immediately, please.
All right, I'll get you.
And I'll fix the names of these. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PugCast. In this episode, we only have the cameras on Maury until he gets bored.
Which should be any moment.
Yeah. Let me quickly change to the ultimate. This will be the pinnacle of Pug. Are you ready for this, guys? Check this out. 2 cameras Look at that. So now you get a profile shot and the straight-on face. Maury, why are you looking so down? Is it because there's not a third camera? We can get a third camera if you want. Maury, your face is the stuff of legends. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that right now. Look at that. I just gotta edit this.
Are you on the camera?
No, it's both angles. Basically, from now on, both cameras will just be.
Hold still.
Okay. Should I get this on?
No, just.
You missed it. You missed it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, there's still one in my peripheral vision. That's whatever. Alright. So we have PugCast episode.
No, Lori, he's not Frank the Pug from Men in Black, but he sure looks like him. Here you go, Maury.
Wow, so majestic. Look at that face.
Yeah.
He has ascended to a higher plane of being.
He loves these pepperoni things.
Maury loves everything that's edible. Hey, check this. I'm gonna get a close up of this. Check it out.
All right.
Fade. Studio mode. Check this out. Real time zooming and panning. Oh, what's he gonna do?
Okay. How you doing?
What's he gonna do?
All right. Here's two more. Right here. There you go. Okay, that pepperoni treat should put him to sleep any moment now. He'll be conked out.
Man, isn't that just the best thing you've ever seen?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dad.
What?
You know what sponsor we have today?
Yeah, pepperoni.
Pepperonis, yeah. Go buy them now.
Where did I put my tea?
We're not endorsed by pepperoni.
I had my tea out here. Now where is it? I must have taken it back in.
Well, go grab your tea then. We got time. Maury's still on camera. He's got tons of content.
Right, he's still moving.
He's going to slowly fade into frame like an angel. Look at this, Dad. You see that? That's a slow fade in. Alright, we're basically started here. Pugalicious. Oh, whoa. Was that a little bark, Maury? Can you do that again for me? Pug Nation. We are the pugnacious Pug Nation. I like that.
It's like I'm so preoccupied with your facial hair and the pug.
There are worse things to be preoccupied with.
See, now look at him. He's looking like, okay, where's the next treat?
Maury?
Yeah, you should have performed like this when we wanted you to pick the book winners, Maury.
Yeah. Instead of just sitting there and doing nothing,
right.
You degenerate.
Yeah, I found a half one in here. I'll give him that yet. More product placement right there.
It took enough time, but I got you to laugh at something.
Okay.
Why is that the thing that gets you? Call Maury a degenerate.
There you go.
He did it again. Oh, that's
He's
great.
just a pug.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, Lori, that's just because he got here quick. If you refresh, it should say PugCast episode 4. You just switch it over to live mode.
Yeah, pepperoni makes pugs snore. Really?
Really? Well.
Boy, I don't know.
Well, Maury must have been taking it from the womb.
Maury will snort.
Hey guys, do you want to see a nightmare? Here's a never-ending vista of Maury. Dad, come over.
I lost.
You're still not on camera yet. Check it out. This is what we see every day.
I'm telling you, you should make a video.
It's just a never-ending vista. Check this out. Oh, it's even worse now.
You should make a video of him in the morning when he's really wound up.
Maury's always wound up. What are you
Look
talking
at him.
about?
He's searching
an
for
energetic
another
creature.
little nugget here.
All right, Dad. Now in use, and we're gonna.
I've got 3 nuggets here. All right, I'm gonna throw caution to the wind.
What?
And give him all 3 nuggets. So.
Oh wow! Wait! Let me get a close in on that. Check this out. Look at that. See that face?
He doesn't have much peripheral vision.
You see that face?
Right there, Maury. Go get him. He'll find him.
All right, and while he's doing that,
Maury's
Dad,
visual acuity isn't
put your
the best.
camera over there. Oh wow! I should fix
just
mine.
turn it or put it over here.
No, as in like put it in front of you where it normally is.
Right.
Wow, what did I do to this camera? It's messed up. It's messed up in all sorts of ways. Oh wow, that's weird. It's awkward and mirrored.
Okay, what does it look like? Is that good or
Let me see.
good, bad?
Just like your whole setup, move it this way because they can see the
Maury is
the dirty, filthy garage wall behind you.
Maury just looks like, okay, when's the next round starting?
Oh, wow, he's like anxious. I've never seen him so mobile. No, I meant the camera. Move the camera.
Oh. All right.
Just like, yeah, about that much. That's good.
All right. You guys should read the ingredients. The same chemical and antifreeze in those things. All right, let's read the ingredients. Let's okay.
Read them aloud.
I don't have my antifreeze ingredients memorized, but
you don't have the antifreeze lore memorized?
It's beef, meat byproducts, soy grits, sugar, liver, salt, propylene glycol, whatever that is.
Propylene glycol is
Maybe you could
stuff
Google it.
of
Garlic powder,
glycol.
caramel color, potassium sorbate used as a preservative, red 40, natural smoke flavor, onion extract, BHA as a preservative. Well, I guess unless my car is running on beef and garlic powder. Of course, I've had some cars that may have
glycol.
run on
I know I
that.
spelled that wrong. Oh my gosh, Dad! I hate your Google Drive so much. Can I talk to you about how much this is awful?
Okay, you got to use the home icon to go search.
Propylene
Maury.
glycol. What is it? Apparently, it's in vape juice. The e-cigs, and that's the douchiest thing ever. So we gotta get them off of that.
It's the it's propylene glycol.
Is a synthetic organic compound with the chemical formula C3H8O2. It's a viscous, colorless liquid which is nearly odorless but possesses a faintly sweet taste. It's used as a diol and is miscible with a broad range of solvents including water, acetone, and ... Let me see. Oh, and chloroform, everyone's favorite thing. It is produced on large scale and is primarily used in the production of polymers.
That doesn't make any sense because look, he ate some and now this is the most awake he's ever been. So how can it be chloroform?
I mean, hey,
look at it.
Checkmate, atheists. Anyway,
look, you gotta get this look. You gotta get this look, or maybe I should. He's like, where is my next pepperoni?
Or he's like, where am I? Hi, please help.
Right? He's having an OBE right now.
He's just having a good old propylene time.
James says we use glycol to drive our planes at work.
Well, is it propylene glycol? Propylene sounds like propelling, and that's flighty to me. Oh, it says, what does it do? Okay. The acute oral toxicity of propylene is very low, and large quantities are required to cause perceptible health damage in humans. It's metabolized in the human body into pyruvic acid, acetic acid, and lactic acid, and propionaldehyde, a potentially hazardous substance.
I don't know if it had that in it. It has the propylene glycol in it.
It's known to exert high levels of biochemical oxygen demand during degradation in surface waters.
Yeah, he needs some help.
Oh, wow. Maury's life is falling apart.
No, he just needs to be covered a little bit more.
Do you think we should, like, oh my gosh, Dad, if we do this in the living room, we should have, like, a pillow fort for Maury?
Yeah, I used to make those when we had dogs and cats when I was little.
You used to make...
Maury is addicted to prop glycol. Yeah. Well...
Breaking Bad.
I don't know. We don't give him pepperonis every day. It's
series 2, I meant.
But it's a treat that he really likes. So, oh, he's tottering. He may.
Wow. Now that's a face that shouts, "I just ingested 3 grams of chloroform."
Yeah.
Look at that. We need a third camera.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we need a third USB slot so we can actually plug it in without destroying everything.
Well, I've got one over here if I don't use my mouse, so we could do that.
Oh, wait. You know what I could do? I could grab the other USB, this thing that lets us have 4 USB slots.
Yeah.
The second one's up in my room, and I'm not using it. I could plug it into here, and then we'd have the camera from a different direction.
Well, we can try
we could do
that.
that.
Then. Yeah. Okay, Lee asks, who's Maury rooting for in the Super Bowl? I hope
Himself.
He appreciates his human family's Pennsylvania roots. Yes, we are all rooting for the Eagles.
I would if I
cared
about sports.
Well,
Angel McCann says it's like puppy crack, which I like.
Yeah,
like
baseball's soon starting, so Calvin likes the Cubs, but not so much with football. But no, we're all hoping the Eagles win. So, and everybody we've invited over, I think, is for the Eagles too. So we shouldn't have any conflict.
We got to keep the Eagles' bloodline pure, Dad.
The Eagles are my wife's favorite team, so they're number 2 for me. So when the Packers basically ended their season half the way through, with Aaron Rodgers going down,
I'm going to post the link to the
I've
thing in the Discord chat. Never mind. Bible Nerd for Life already has. What, you think you're cooler than me? Stop, I'm posting it. I'm deleting yours.
Let's see. I got to go back through the question.
Wrong link. That's the pop-out chat.
Snakes. All right. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Snakes. With those snakes, he won't need the blanket. He snakes as snacks. Okay. Yeah, that's like Mom, instead of calling us dudes last time, called us duds. So.
Wow, that was disgusting.
Calvin, come on.
I'm sorry. Look, Dad, how often
do you
hear me? Dad,
that's gonna be on the internet now.
Dad, how often do you hear me burp?
Oh, almost never.
See? It's almost never.
Well.
Because when I do,
this one's still going to be on the internet. So,
I'm just saying that it's not.
You sounded like Lyndon Baines Johnson, even though you don't know who that is.
Is that someone who's I've never met?
The president after Kennedy.
Oh,
he was famous for belching, like in phone calls and stuff.
Like on purpose.
Yeah.
So, that's funny. It's not funny because he's
belching. Go ahead. Yeah, go to YouTube and go to LB. Put in LBJ and belch or burp, and you'll probably find it. So, all right. How many? What I'd like to know is how many people watching now watched last night when we did the thing from Grace.
Only 90s kids will remember that moment when I kicked the camera over by accident.
Yeah, I'd like to watch, or I'd like to know. If
we'd like to know
if anybody watched, and if the audio, I want to hear about the audio for sure.
Oh yeah, the audio was kind of murky.
Yeah, because I wasn't mic'd.
Yeah, they could still hear you, but it's like
Okay.
you know how the sound is when like someone records like a band playing with a cell phone from like the middle row, but you can still hear the person on stage.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that.
All right, so
in other words, it was bad, but they could probably hear it.
Right. Well, I need to wear a mic next time.
Yeah, you should.
That's what we're learning. So
here's the thing: that place is not good for setup, and here's why.
Well,
because of the way it's laid out.
Room we got.
There's no outlets near you. Number one.
There was one. Well, there was one under the screen, but not.
All right.
I'm on the other side.
Number two. The lighting required to make the projector work, ruins the cameras.
Oh well.
Number three.
We can't reconstruct the room just for me.
Okay. Number three. I'm saying we could pick a different room. Like it's not.
Well, I don't know that we can because there's other stuff going on in church. So.
Yeah, but like okay, well you know what the easiest thing to do to fix all those problems would be.
No, I don't.
Okay, so the room right next to it that's normally cut off by this wall.
Yeah.
We could open that up, do it in that room, and then you could be on that.
Just turn the chairs around and like stand like where the carpeting was. That
No, I mean everything would be oriented the same way. It would just be like 30 feet to the left, because then what we could do that would fix the positioning thing, so I could be set up near you. And then you know what we should do?
What?
You should upgrade from a projector and have physical slides.
No. Well,
like
you're not talking to the person in charge here. Okay, here's what I'd really like to know.
Just buy them.
If you watch that on my feed or my Facebook, then go up to Grace Church's website, and I think that's where they put it, and watch it there, because now there was a camera difference too. They were using a Mevo.
It would be much more clear on that end.
Yeah, and I don't know about the audio because I was not mic'd, so I'm kind of curious.
Their 4K camera that was closer than our camera probably had infinitely better sound.
Okay, Maury has assumed his showtime position. We might want to show him.
Okay, I'll be right on it.
Okay, just his eyes are still open, so.
Let me just angle it down a bit. Check this out.
All right.
Oh, wait, wrong one. Bam, check this out.
Maury has assumed his showtime position, so there he is.
I cooked him breakfast this morning.
He is ready to go.
I made Maury breakfast. Remember that?
Yes.
What do you think of that?
Well, he ate it and he didn't throw it up. So.
Maury likes it when I cook for him.
Yeah, I can't hold a megaphone, but I have a lapel mic that I'll take next time. And
the lapel would be nice, but doesn't it have to connect to an iPhone or another audio jack?
Well, it would have to plug into something.
Okay, well in that case,
it's not an amplifier.
Okay, in that case, we need an audio jack, like extension. And I was actually going to pick one up at Best Buy, but I didn't have.
I don't know what that is. If you're talking about the cord length, we've got about 30 feet. I mean, we've got plenty of length. But if you're talking about
would 30 feet have been enough then?
Oh yeah.
It would have been stretching it because it also needs to go under your shirt.
No, it would have been enough. It's long.
All right.
Yeah. Audio was poor but way louder when Calvin knocked over the camera.
Everything I did was on purpose.
That's good. V-Ma, you're welcome. Glad you liked Unseen Realm.
It's
a podcast on the gospel, like what you did with the other podcast on the book of the Bible. Well, if you mean like a podcast like on something like the sermon that's on video, then the sermon's already there. But we did a Q&A. We recorded a Q&A today. The Q&A on Hebrews. There's actually going to be 2 of those because some of the questions were kind of lengthy and involved. And we got into the whole faith and works thing. So, Josh, if that's what you mean, I actually mentioned during that we probably need to devote an episode of the podcast to the whole faith and works, grace and works thing. Calvin, what are you doing? Oh, I see what you're doing. All right.
Don't spoil it. It's going to be a great plot twist.
What's your view of total depravity from the Calvinist perspective? Well, to be as polite as I can, I don't really care what the Calvinist perspective is, and I don't really care what the other. In other words, just fill in the blank. I don't read deeply in historic perspectives. I know from some Calvinists. I mean, see, here's the problem: the Calvinist perspective. Well, what is that? Because different Calvinists are going to sort of take it to different degrees. But if you're talking about like total inability to ever do anything that God would be happy with, I think that's nonsense. When the lost person doesn't cheat on his wife, I don't think that increases the wrath of God. I think God is pleased with that, but it doesn't have anything to do with salvation, because salvation isn't about works. So it just depends on, how the particular Calvinist, kind of the spin that they put on those sorts of things. So I'd have to know more specifics, but honestly, I'm more content to just go with the this is going to sound geeky, but the phenomena of Scripture. In other words, what we actually see in the text, whether it conforms to a system or not, I just don't care. And I think this is why all of the systems will track on the phenomena of the text somewhere. That's why they all have, really, they do have good things to say. But the problem is they try to build a system, and then the phenomena of Scripture, the statements of Scripture that don't happen to fit well into the system, then they get called problem passages. Well, yeah, they're problems for your system. But, why not just affirm what the text says and kind of go with that? Like the whole sovereignty and free will thing. Scripture affirms both sides of that. And there are ways to sort of approach that. But I think a poor way to approach things is essentially to define things in such a way that the problem passages you try to make disappear and don't give them the weight that they deserve. So, I don't really care too much for that. But beyond that, I'd have to know specifically which kind of Calvinist, double predestination Calvinist that says XYZ about lost people, can ever please God, or, total inability to, make a decision or believe. And, it just, there's too much variety in it. There's too much nuancing in it. So, I mean, it's hard to be clear because there's so much nuancing in it. Let's see. Okay, I see Armin has showed up again. Great. He'll be stepping in my tea and across my keyboard in no time. You know, he was out in the yard today.
I'm back, everyone.
He was out in the field. What's gone?
I was. I'm back now.
Armin was out in the field today tracking on something. We have this field behind our house, and we had a bunch of geese out there, but he wasn't angling for a goose. He's smarter than that. But he was tracking on something because I was out for about 10 minutes, and he literally didn't move, like not even flinch. So he was in hunting mode.
Did you appreciate the effect I did?
No, I didn't even see the effect of what you did.
I keyed this whole thing out, right?
Yeah.
And I dangled the cat over the frames, but my frame was above yours.
So you got cat fur as the background, or?
No. I'm saying that Armin was dangling right above your head.
Oh, well, okay.
It was.
I missed that.
It was a prank.
Fortunately.
Unfortunately, he's a gift.
Oh, let's see.
Green screen is now back in its rightful owner's hands, Maury's hands.
Gino's question about the Holy Spirit. No, actually I don't. I think the restrainer is God himself, but maybe that's 6 of one and half a dozen of another. And there are real technical reasons why it's without going down to there.
Armin's
already at work now with the cameras.
Cat, you cut it out.
Okay, what you do?
Like exposed wiring.
What you do? Put him outside and close the little door because he can't get back in.
Shoo.
Okay.
Get off. Get off the table. Get off the table, Armin. Get off.
Just pick him up.
Shoo.
See, now you got to go find him.
Okay, well now he's on my chair.
Because he'll be back.
Gone.
He'll be back. He likes company. This is the only time we're out here.
Just be glad I wasn't sitting down.
By the way, for everybody watching, Armin lives in the garage. He is I guess that's an outdoor cat. Might as well be because we don't have heat in here.
Yeah.
But he lives in the garage. He's got his own little bed. We get him a little space heater when it gets cold.
And he doesn't even pay rent.
Right. Once in a while, we let him in, or he sneaks in, and he usually goes to Calvin's room and hides under the bed or whatever.
I mean, he gets bored of my room. He walks in, I close the door, I pet him, then he just sits at the door, waits to get out.
Yeah. No, the cat's not overweight. He's actually pretty light. He's just got his winter fur.
He's extra thick. THICC, all caps.
Yeah. Let's see here. Gotta go back. Yeah, green screen. Yeah. Something about pajamas in here. Are you wearing pajamas?
Yes, I am. I'm wearing
well,
pajama pants.
Yeah, all right.
It's great.
Yeah, let's see. Rich Baker sent me the PDF, The Supernatural in French. Yeah. Yeah, and the Supernatural translation for Ukrainian just dropped today.
Is there really a little black bar there?
So Ukrainian, and then the Korean is boy, I wish I could remember how many chapters are in Supernatural. Maybe I should look that up. Anyway, the Korean's through
there's a little black bar.
15 chapters, so that's getting close. So I actually have my laptop open here. I can look it up quick. See how close that is.
Fixed.
Would have been nice to already have a Korean translation, then somebody over there in the Olympic Village or something to put it on every phone or something. That's not going to happen, I would guess. Oh, well, there's 16. So he's only one chapter away. Okay. So, we could have the Korean drop in another few weeks. I mean, who knows? It won't be proofread by the Olympic timer end of the month, but it's getting close. So how many of you, so I had 2 questions. The one I already asked about how many of you watched the thing last night, and especially if you watch both versions to compare, but also, oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. It was watching something else. Why did that make me think of the other thing? Oh, it'll come back to me. Anyway, it'll come back to me. Let's see here.
Is the B on your baseball cap for Boston or Bellingham?
It's for Boston.
Okay, I didn't ask that question. Someone else did. I'm not dumb. Neither are you.
Boston Red Sox. Yeah.
It would be crazy if I didn't know after seeing that one famous park that I can't remember the name of.
I see a reference to the Titanomachy. That's a wider net than just the Hurry and Kumarbi stuff. I mean, that's obviously included, but the net's wider than that. There's a lot of good stuff on that. You know, ML West's book, and then some other stuff. I've been collecting that. There's a surprising amount of good stuff on Berossus and the different his material. Philo, the relationship of the ancient Near Eastern stuff to the Greek. There's a lot of good stuff out there. So if you're into that, I mean, you'll be able to find good material. All right, there's something in here that jarred my memory here, or jarred my mind the first time to think about.
Very jarring.
Yeah. What was I? Okay, there were two things. There was what we did last night, and there was something else.
The light refracting around, like in the lenses of your glasses, looks very interesting in the frame. Like,
that's great.
Like, now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And it's like slightly goofy looking.
Oh boy. All right, it'll come to me. I just can't think of it again.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Star Wars Christmas special?
Oh my word.
Did you watch that entire video?
No, I watched 3 or 4 minutes of it, and look. It's just hard to believe that's real.
What do you think of the format?
Like that has to be some kind of parody or.
No. It's a real thing.
I mean, well, I know it existed, but I mean, like.
You know what the crazy thing
like
is?
To put that out thinking that was a serious project.
I really love the George Lucas quote about it. If I had the time and a sledgehammer, I would destroy every copy of it, right? Which I think is great. But yeah, what do you think of JonTron's, like, the way he formats his reviews? Could we do something like that?
Look, we don't have. Yeah, that just takes too long.
I mean, I'm not saying we should have sets, right? But like cutting between things, you know.
Yeah, well,
we could do that. I could show you
I
a more low budget version.
I don't have to do any of it. I mean, I just have to sit down and say stuff, or whoever's going to participate. But to do that, that's really a lot of work. Lucas claims no involvement in the special, but he was actually involved. Yeah.
I mean, if I was.
Did somebody say they told their daughter to watch that?
The Christmas special?
Oh no, I think that was something. That was the.
Oh, it's for something else.
Yeah, like last night or something. I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember it, or I can't place it here.
You're either Parent of the Year, or we should I was going to make a joke about calling Child Protective Services for the Christmas special, but I messed it up. I want to make that clear. I messed it up. If you didn't notice it, I messed it up.
There's a Child Protective Services joke in there somewhere.
We got to call Child Protective Services. There we go. Was that funny, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm happy with that then.
Okay. I'm still working on my screen here.
Still working on your screen? What are you looking at?
Just
pull this about 3 feet closer. Again, the pop filter thing is a bit of an issue. We should adjust it.
Yeah, I'm going back. Chaos Tamer's comment about Richard Clifford stuff. Yeah, it's they republished. I'm trying to remember who did it. I think it was Wiffenstock republished his Harvard Semitic Monographs book on the Cosmic Mountain in the Old Testament. That was out of print for a long time, and you can get that in paperback now. So if you don't have his Cosmic Mountain book, you can get that. Oh, for people who listen to the podcast, I tweeted or retweeted something, and I replied to a tweet. I don't know if there's any difference there.
One is that you're just spreading it. The other is that you're replying to it.
Okay. So, but yeah, all right. Either way, but I put something in there. If you follow the podcast, it wasn't this most recent year, but the year before. We interviewed Carmen Imes.
And who's that, Dad?
She was a doctoral student at Wheaton. She just finished her dissertation, and I met her at a regional ETS meeting. But she was the woman who was writing a dissertation on bearing the name of God, and tying it in with imaging. Her dissertation is just about, well, it's published, but it hasn't been released yet. And Eisenbrauns is the publisher, and I follow them on Twitter, and they put a little thing up that you can pre-order it. So
pre-ordering a dissertation?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh. So if you wanted to read Carmen Imes' stuff, it's going to be out shortly. So hopefully they didn't put that thing up like 8 months ahead of time, because I went to Amazon, there was no release date, which I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but hopefully it'll be out before the November meetings. But
hey, Dad,
it should be out sooner than that.
Hey, Dad,
it's nice to see. Yeah,
this is a burning question. Yeah. Everyone wants to know it. Is Maury going to be in your next book? Not as like a cameo, not as like a different character. Is Maury himself going to be in the next book?
We're not.
Can you print his face on the inside of each cover? Can you actually do that?
Yeah, we can put a paw print in it.
Oh my gosh, that would be great.
Autographed Maury edition.
Maury should be our permanent mascot.
Well, I think he
Can we make like a really successful company, and like 3,000 years later, or something crazy like that, when it's still around, Maury's face is still the logo?
And I wonder when we lost our minds. Is that it?
What?
Like, why would they put a dog's face?
Why not? It's like, oh, the business could be like, well, how come Apple's company is called Apple and has an apple on it? Like, what's the significance of Apple?
Temptation.
But what about Windows? Like,
that's more practical. It's because that's the transition from DOS to what Windows was. You had your stuff displaying in Windows. So
but was the company called that before the concept of computer Windows were around?
It was Microsoft, and then they came out with Microsoft Windows as a product.
Okay, maybe that's fine. Microsoft, like software, I guess.
The unseen Maury.
The unseen Maury.
Somebody asked, have you read Gary Wayne's book on Genesis 6 conspiracy? No,
who's Gary Wayne?
I don't know who he is, but
I'll Google him.
I've seen the book pop up on Amazon. No, I mean, and you understand. I don't know if you follow me at all, but those who do know what my answer is going to be. I only read peer-reviewed material. I don't have much time to read generally. And B, since I don't,
I look up Gary Wayne, and the first three things that come up have the word conspiracy in the title.
Yeah, there's a book. Yeah, I think he has.
It's called the Genesis 6 Conspiracy.
Yeah.
What do you? Have you read it? What do you think of it?
No, Jeremy's asking if I read it. No, and I don't plan to read it either.
Why not?
Because I only read peer-reviewed material.
Well, we should read it anyway.
I'm not interested in anything else. Because, to be honest with you, if you're not interacting with peer-reviewed material, I hate to say it this way, but I'm not going to learn anything.
But what if I told you that Gary Wayne is a Christian contrarian who has maintained a lifelong love affair with biblical prophecy, history, and mythology? His extensive study has encompassed the Bible and Gnostic scriptures. That makes
it even worse.
The Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, Gilgamesh, and other ancient epics, language, etymology, and secret society publications. Yeah. What if I told you that?
Everybody does that.
Oh.
Everybody on the internet does that. That's what internet, researchers do.
What if I told you that?
Don't tell me anymore.
Gary takes no prisoners.
Yeah. Well, good.
That's the name of the first review on his site.
No, it's I don't have a whole lot of time to read, and I'm only interested in reading scholarly stuff because it's gone through peer review, and if it's gone through peer review, you know that it's been vetted. You know that it's been critiqued by field experts, and I mean that's the good stuff. So if I have a limited amount of time, that's where I'm going to focus my time.
Can I just read you the tagline of the book first? And I'm not making fun of this guy.
I don't want to hear any more about the book.
No,
if we keep talking about the book, then
it's just one sentence, okay? And I'm not making fun of this guy. I'm sure the book's great, but just out of context, this line just makes me giggle a little. The Genesis 6 Conspiracy, how secret societies and the descendants of giants plan to enslave mankind.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Shout out to Gary Wayne.
Let's see.
Let's give a big old shout out in the
No,
chat.
I've not read Keener's Miracles, his massive 2-volume set. I have it.
So apparently the apple in Apple's software comes from Newton, and that just makes me like Steve Jobs a little less.
Well,
he's like comparing himself to Newton.
But the bite out of it is a clear reference to the Genesis story, the whole temptation thing. Like, we're making something that is going to tempt people to buy or that kind of thing.
I don't think that Steve Jobs was like a cartoon villain. I think that Steve Jobs just made technology for hipsters and stupid people.
Somebody wants to know.
Get a Google Pixel. Stop buying iPhones.
Okay. Somebody wants to know if you're Gary Wayne's agent.
No, I.
Look. Okay, yes. You got to get a shot of this. Look at that. Armin,
you see that?
Armin crawled in with Maury.
Look at that. They're best friends.
They're gonna keep each other warm, I guess.
Oh wow. Let me get an angle of this. You see that? That's what true friendship is. Y'all wouldn't know what this looks like.
I'm thrilled if Armin stays over there. Believe me.
See that face?
Yeah.
Maury's going for the kill.
No, they leave each other alone. They're buddy. Look, Maury's standing tall there. I don't know what's going on, but Armin woke him up, I guess. Oh my word, it's ridiculous. Yeah, the odd couple is right.
Yeah, but like the thing I was doing earlier is that whenever I read something, whenever I like go to someone else's website on Google and I read it to Dad, I like to read everything as if I'm like trying to sell it to him. Mm-hmm. So that was so great. Just like the first line of his book review was just Gary takes no prisoners in all caps, bold with like 60 exclamation points. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. That's funny. Oh, that's great.
Dude, Maury just has this like sort of someone please come and get me.
Gary takes no prisoners.
All right, enough of that.
I'm sorry. It's so funny.
Let's see.
Sorry.
Lee says my husband and I got tickets to your April 22nd event in Virginia Beach. Can you bring Maury? I'm sure Calvin could pug sit.
Bring me.
We're not all the way to Virginia.
Bring me in, pug.
You got school.
Oh, wait, hold on. Where's Virginia Beach?
On the East Coast.
Ew.
It's where Uncle Brad lives. I'll be staying at his house.
I don't know if I can handle Pennsylvania again.
You know, honestly, the cat is not overweight. Maury is a little. I guess you could say Maury's a little undersized for. Well, is he now? Because when he was little, he was a runt. Like, he was a twin. He had two pugs in the same pocket, same pouch, and so he was dramatically undersized when we went to pick him up. Like the other dogs in the same litter were like twice the size. Yeah. But he's 25 pounds, and Armin is nowhere near 25 pounds. So it's just fur.
Hey, Dad. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
You know what this water reminds me of?
No.
See the water? What can you tell me about this water?
It's clear.
It's flat. You know what else is flat? The Earth!
Okay, you got your flat Earth reference.
The Earth's flat.
Yeah, that's congratulations.
I gotta work it into.
Yeah.
Whoa, that Maury was making. Remember that new face I was telling you about? How like Maury made a face at me I've never seen him make before. He was just making it, and you were looking away.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I
think he's looking to use Armin as a pillow. Yeah, a puglet. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, my brother lives in Virginia Beach, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to go out to Virginia Beach. So, let's see here.
Yeah, you can leave now. I did it. I got the flat Earth reference in.
Oh, Brandon, what you need to do is, I'm trying to remember this guy was actually an evangelical too. His name is David Scholar, but it has an unusual spelling. Let me see if I can find this real quick. But he produced a massive bibliography on Coptic Gnostic stuff. And let me just see if I can find that work.
Nipko, I know the Earth isn't flat. It's a joke.
Now.
It's a joke. I know the Earth's not flat.
Okay, just keep him busy, Calvin. I'm going to try to find this book.
Keep who busy?
See if it's even in print anymore.
Oh, wait. We keep who busy? The pug or the chat?
The chat.
Have you ever heard of my friend Gary
busy.
Wayne?
Okay. All right, here it is.
Fast.
Oh man, that's really dated.
How old is it?
Yeah, it's published in 1971. The Nag Hammadi Bibliography, 1948 through 1969, Volume 1. I mean, I know there are other volumes. I'm trying to think of where. I know I have this stored away in a file somewhere, some of the other bibliographic stuff. But Scholar's bibliography, and it's more than one volume, is a good resource if you can find them to look up, stuff like this as far as, existing scholarship on a particular issue.
Okay, well, never thought I'd do this, but hi, Bonnet, Mr. Wonderful. He says, when Zuckerberg compared Facebook to the invention of the printing press, in all fairness, Facebook, for what it is very revolutionary. I think it's stupid, but I'm not going to take away the achievement of what Facebook is from Zuckerberg. Like, that's all he has. Like, Dad, have you seen these? I forgot to show these to you, but it's like Mark Zuckerberg is unintentionally the creepiest person ever. Like not creepy in a bad way, creepy in like a Michael Cera way, except he's not acting. Like have you seen the video of him testing like the Facebook VR chat? No. But so it's like him and like this other person in VR.
I wouldn't have a reason to watch it.
Listen. So it's him and this other person in VR, right? You know what? I'm so passionate about this. I'll give myself full screen for this. Okay, so it's him, right? so it's like him in VR, and then there's someone else in VR beside him, and it's like a screen cap of the VR game, right? Yeah. So it's his Facebook avatar and someone else's Facebook avatar, and it's presumably from the eyes of a third person who's also a Facebook avatar, and he's like, oh, look, check it out. Now we're in where was that recent hurricane in that third world country that devastated it? It was like some it was like some country that just got destroyed by natural.
I think Haiti just got hit.
Oh,
again.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look, we're in Haiti. This is the rescue effort. And they're just in VR and they're just awkwardly talking about Haiti and charity. And you see in the background, like, all this destroyed stuff, like debris is floating in the water. People are panicked. They're just talking about Facebook VR. Oh, I love it. It's so funny.
All right. There are back to the question.
I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
Okay, I'm trying to remember who asked. Okay, Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, I just did a search for Gospel of Thomas and misogyny on Google Scholar. And the top two sources that come up, one is an article by Buckley, and that interprets the Logion, the infamous 114 Logion of Gospel of Thomas, where this whole discussion comes from. But there's a book by April DeConnick that apparently, focuses on the misogyny issue. Now, again, you should be advised. April DeConnick, I don't want to mischaracterize her because I don't know this for sure, but she's an Nag Hammadi scholar. She teaches at Rice. I don't know that she's a practicing Gnostic or not, but she may be. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But she's a recognized scholar in this particular field. And I'm telling you that because I don't know that she's going to argue that it's not a misogynistic, text or what she's going to say. But if you got her book, there's I have no doubt that you're going to be able to mine that for a lot of other sources. And at any rate, it's something you'd have to interact with because, she's, like I said, she's a recognized name in the field. Let's see.
Dad, I have a question that someone's been trying to ask since the first minute.
Yeah.
It's from Chaos Tamer. He says, actually, let me scroll up to the top of chat to get the original version of it. And the original version of his question was as follows. Let me scroll down to it. He said, it's down a little bit more. Yeah, he says, Heiser, would considering Yahweh as a warrior of God be the same as labeling him as a god of war? Is warrior godism the same as war god?
Yeah, I need a definition for that. Questions like this, I need definitions.
Well, okay. Well, what would you like to?
Because then I end up either agreeing or disagreeing with something I don't have a definition for, which is kind of dumb.
Chaos Tamer, just rephrase it a bit more specifically, apparently, and I'll relate it to Dad again.
All these things have definitions, so. Yeah. Oh, let's see here.
Oh my gosh, VMoss says, He said something. Vima says Zuckerberg, absolute power corrupting, absolutely acolyte of the New World Order. Boy, if I got a book for you, it's called the Genesis 6 Conspiracy. That's your plug, Gary Wayne.
Look, this is he's gonna turn into, look. I don't want to. I don't know who this guy is.
Gary Wayne is.
Well, don't go into the don't give me more of the marketing copy. Okay, we're not here to badmouth him. Just.
I'm not here to badmouth either.
I'm not interested in the book.
I don't mean to make fun of his work or anything like that. I'm sure he's a very intelligent, very nice person. I just thought that the content of his website was funny.
Oh, let's see. There was something else in here. Gnostic stuff, and then others are answering that. That's fine.
Yeah, Brandon. I completely agree with you on that. And what he said was, a bunch of people just read a few verses of the Old Testament out of context and call Yahweh evil.
Sure.
It's stupid.
That's the Gnostic system. That's at least Sethian Gnosticism, but most Gnosticism anyway.
Okay, so there's something I legitimately have a question about that's my own. Okay, So sometimes I hear that people say that that the New Testament makes a lot of what's in the Old Testament like irrelevant or outdated. What's the status of that?
Well, some of it is. The temple was destroyed, so we don't have a theocracy.
Okay.
Yeah. So laws associated with that, are obsolete by definition.
All right.
But it just depends what it is. Some things, they're obsolete. Other things, they get carried into the New Testament. So it's not an either or. It's not an all or nothing kind of thing. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what my second question was. It's really bugging me here.
What was the first question?
I need to start reading. Well, if anybody watched the last night, but there was something else I was wondering if they watched or listen. Oh, now I remember. Who listened to the 200th episode of the podcast? I just like some thoughts.
Was there a special thing on the 200th episode?
We interviewed two people from the Middle East. Again, we're not. We're able, but we're not. We're restricted in terms of identifying exactly where they are.
Hey, Dad.
And then a couple people from that are either in Africa or do ministry in Africa, and then Albania. So I was just wondering, if anybody saw that.
Steven Crowder did a really interesting interview with someone, with this woman who was trying to escape her sect of the Muslim religion or something like that. Mm-hmm. I should say in the interview if you haven't seen it. Oh, but there's something I'm legitimately interested in. You know who Jordan B. Peterson is?
I've heard his name this week.
Get him on the podcast.
He has a book about.
It's called 12 Reasons to Live By or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And they're very fascinating, the reasons. I was just listening to a podcast where he went over some of it, and you should have him on your podcast.
Which podcast were you listening to?
I was listening to the H3H3 podcast.
Okay.
Hosted by Ethan and Ela Klein. They're YouTubers.
Somebody just who do I listen to that just had him on? I haven't listened to the episode yet. Maybe it's Metaxas. I don't know. It reminded me. Calvin, of course, you of course didn't read this, but years ago there was a series of books called "Everything I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten."
I've seen some of the parodies of that.
Okay, well,
like Everything I Need to Know I've Learned from My Cat. And it's just 48 pictures of cats with different stuff on its head with captions.
Well, this was actually a little more substantive than that.
I assume so.
No, I've heard of that. So yeah, I'll have to listen to to an episode or a podcast or two on it.
I think one of the most interesting rules of his 12 is this rule that's and the way it's
the
worded,
one about the cat.
No.
Like you should always say
the Jordan Peterson one.
And there's one of his is about a cat.
Oh, really? I
didn't. The last one.
I don't think he got into that.
Okay.
But the reason I was thinking of, and he had to reword it in his new book to clarify something. But the rule is, don't lie or at the very least, don't say something. No, it's always tell the truth, or at the very least, don't lie. And he goes into the podcast why he changed the wording of it, because like sometimes you can say things or sometimes you could make comments and stuff you don't know to be true or false.
They had to like redo the book or something.
No. He had these 48 reasons that he posted on the internet or something, and then he narrowed it down to 12, and then he put that in a book.
Oh, okay.
But the podcast where he talks to Ethan and Ela is very interesting. You don't watch H3H3, I get that, but their podcast is really good. Most of the time it's just like comedian stuff, but they've had 2 episodes with Jordan Peterson on now. And Jordan Peterson, one of my favorites. Easily one of my favorite like psychologists, authors, etc. He's also religious, and he gets into some interesting talking points between Ethan and Ela, who are atheists, and him, who is a religious person. And he gives an interesting talk about why he doesn't believe in atheism. Not that like why he believes there's a God, but why he believes atheism doesn't make sense in some ways.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here. I don't know if it was on. It has to be Metaxas that had him on. I would think so. I know I've seen him on one of the podcasts that I follow, but I'll make sure to listen to it. I hope I didn't just shut my screen. No, I didn't. Okay. Well, good. A few people watched the.
Can someone drag Chris Chan into Heiser's VA Beach Talk? Yes, we need Chris Chan.
What's that?
Oh, I have a story to tell you after the camera stopped rolling.
Is that a what or a who?
Chris Chan. What? It's Chris Chan.
It's Chris Chan. Is it a who or a what?
Chris Chan. His story is kind of both, actually. Chris Chan's story is very interesting. I can't wait to tell you about it.
Oh, well.
Thank you, Brandon Taylor. I'll email Chris Chan, see if he can come.
Reuben Report, Rogan.
She can come.
That's the Human Eyes one. Those aren't the one. I don't follow either of those. I know something came up in my podcast.
Chris Chan's
thing.
Beyond saving, Brandon. It's too late.
So
Sonichu was bad enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad some of you caught the 200th episode. I mean that we tried to do at least 20 minutes, with each. I mean, there's certainly others that we could have included, but we figured for the 200th episode that would 3 of those would make a whole episode, and of course it did. We are going to be, if you listen to it, we're at work now to get the. By the way, if anybody has an opinion on this, let me know. We are at work on copying the podcast files, at least the content files, not so much the interviews, but the podcast series, the Q&As, the MP3 files, putting them on a flash, because we're going to send them to Africa. But my friend Rich has suggested we're gonna get a few of these just to see how they work, but to get these portable little tiny podcast players. Specifically ones that can be charged like with a desktop. They have a USB connection.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever used any of those?
The podcast players.
They're players. I mean, you store them on there, but they're also players. Then they're not much bigger than like flash drives.
So like an iPod.
Yeah, but they kind of look like.
Do they have built-in speakers?
Yeah, they would be like the old, the really old, like first generation or whatever you'd call them, like iPods, the little square things or oblong.
Do you need
things.
Earbuds to listen to it?
Yeah, I would think so.
Can you even listen to them when it's mobile?
Oh, I don't know. I've never. I mean, I remember years and years and years ago, the girls had the little iPods.
Yeah, but those needed earbuds.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember how they were charged? Did they come with their own charger, or was it? Did they have USB? Then?
I mean, Apple's chargers are always non-universal.
Okay.
But it was like the really old wide one that our first iPad used.
We're just trying to figure out what would be the most sensible thing to copy the files on and then send them to Africa. That's
the most sensible thing. Well, I guess it would depend where in Africa and in that area what kind of technology they use. Because here's the thing, even people who are like in like poorer areas in Africa. Like it's not that like they have no technology. Like you see people in Africa with like
most of them have
like
phones,
Pac-Man T-shirts.
Phones.
Oh my gosh.
Mom's watching.
They are together. Hi, baby.
Maybe mom doesn't want to be on there.
Oh my gosh, I need a picture of that. Calvin, let me have a.
Yeah, let's just interrupt our broadcast.
I'll take a picture. Because I know you're gonna take a stupid vertical picture. Stop taking vertical. You need help, Mom. Never take vertical. Hey, Maury. Maury's looking right in the camera.
You know, he's looking right at me. It's really cute. Come here. Take it right up from here, this side.
Oh my word.
Right there. Okay, there. Maury.
Oh, well, everybody's lost now, adoring the dog and the cat. So.
It's not close enough.
No.
I don't want
You
dad
said
in it.
come back here. So I come back here and take a picture. And
I don't want your dad in it. I just want
She doesn't.
No. This is the first one.
She doesn't want me in it.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cat isn't.
Oh, let's see here.
Take a closer one.
I can't get both of them to look into the lens.
Yeah,
Take a closer one.
I can't work miracles.
that's good. Something that's tolerant of heat. Yep. Yep.
Oh my
So
god.
we have this one.
Okay.
Okay, send them to me. Send me like a far away and then.
I'll just send you all of them.
All right, thanks.
Jane Doe says Family Feud. Oh, brother! Now she's going to tell Summit she has to come in and look at the dog and the cat. Here we go. Oh wow. Yeah, I think
Anyway.
Hound Pursues has a question about Old Testament symbolism of the sea and baptism, and I don't know about underworld connections with baptism. It's certainly
Yep, you called it, Dad.
certainly control
Summit,
of
is that you?
chaos. That kind of thing.
Is that you,
Because-
Summit?
Because specifically, it's tied into the Red Sea crossing, and you get chaos imagery
turn
there.
it sideways. Stop taking vertical photos. Stop it.
So-
Stop taking vertical photos. It's bad.
You're out of control.
okay.
It's really bad.
We don't need to worry about the style
Stop
of the
taking
picture.
vertical.
Okay.
Okay. You know what? I'll give this one to you. Like,
Is this really necessary? Are all these pictures really necessary?
It's so
Yes.
buddy.
this episode in a nutshell, Dad?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, Will says I like the zip drives. Great for long drives. Yeah.
See that picture?
We're trying to just land on something that it's easy to get the files on. They're easy to mail. They can be recharged. We don't have to have battery dependence and all that kind of stuff. The original idea was just to put them on flash drives and then people put them on their desktops or whatever. But yeah, a portable player seems to make a lot of sense. But if any of you have used some of those, just let me know what. Especially if there's like, oh, don't do this.
I honestly think that just based, and I'm not an expert, but I just think based on just estimations, what I know about technology, what I know about what people have over there, I think anything USB compatible, USB compatible like flash drives and stuff should work. Because even like that Nabwana Isaac Godfrey Jeffrey guy, Raman Fu Productions. Oh, he is Uganda's big director. Like he used to make movies with just like a camcorder and an old laptop, and now he's making tons of money and feeding the tribe, etc. But even he has a laptop that presumably has USB functionality. So as long as it can connect to a computer with USB, I think it should be good. But that's just a blind guess.
Okay. Yeah, no, we're not going to do 5 1/4 floppies.
Like
they are well past that point.
yeah, they're way past floppies.
Yeah. Yeah. Did Jesus read Enoch? I mean, honestly, how would we know? We don't know if we have no record of what Jesus read, so there's no answer to that question. There's no reason that he couldn't have, but we have nothing to base that on. Pug Nation, yeah. Pepperoni makes pugs snore. Okay.
Pug Nation.
My thing just flipped to the beginning of
Dad,
the.
Dad.
These aren't old ones. These
Dad.
are new ones. These are old ones.
Dad.
What?
Can we do you have like a name for your community?
What community?
Like the community of people who like read your blog or something like that.
No.
Because
Trey calls them Naked Nation because it's Naked Bible.
You know, we should call this nation for our live streams.
Pugnation or something.
Pugnacious Nation.
Yeah.
The Pugnacious Station.
Oh, somebody says small solar-powered preloaded MP3. Are there solar-powered?
I think that might be a joke because solar power is a terrible way to get.
Well, it's Africa. I mean.
Well, yeah, but like we have tons of sun here too. Like, and like you don't see everyone like you don't see like every hipster with like a solar-powered MP3.
We don't have tons of sun where we live.
Maybe. I mean, Arizona has tons of sun.
Well, we don't live in Arizona. So.
Okay, Brandon Taylor says this is my favorite question we've ever gotten, okay? Yeah. And I don't think you're going to know what it means, but I'm going to make sure you hear it. Would you say that furries are the revival of animism and pagan idolatry?
I don't even know what furries are.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Do you like the X-Men movie series?
Okay, apparently that's exactly what they do.
You know, I've seen 2 or 3 of them, so I guess that's your answer. I'm not interested enough to watch them all. You know.
Really? Do they really use solar power out there?
Yes, missionaries used them to distribute audio Bibles all the time. Okay, well that's interesting. Yeah, does NIPCO or NIPCO disc? Do you live in the Northwest? Because he says rain powered. That would be us.
Do you think like a dam is technically rain power because of?
No, it's just hydropower. It's just water power.
Yeah, but like if it rains, you know. Oh my gosh. Oh, Dad, have I ever told you about
Chaos Tamer? I am trying not to laugh, but
Dad,
go ahead.
Have I ever told you what otherkin is?
No.
Okay. So I'm not gonna. Is
this another soul crushing millennial internet thing? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Right.
But let me just give you a few features of it. I want you to tell me where you think it came from. Okay. Popular with millennials. Right? Okay, popular with millennials. That's the first thing.
All right.
In some online cultures, it's considered a very important issue, and it started on the internet, I think. And it's about believing yourself to be something that it's not. Where do you think it came from?
I don't even understand what it is.
It's when you believe that you're something that you're not. Where do you think it came from? I'll give you 4 options: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr. It's Tumblr, obviously.
Yeah, doesn't Tumblr have something to do with pictures? Is that
okay? So you know how 4chan is super right wing and everyone there is on the same level of genuine awful.
No, I've never been on it.
Okay, well, it's basically like everyone is on there specifically to offend each other, and that's like their community, right? But Tumblr is like the polar opposite, where everyone's on this extreme level of hypersensitivity that they're afraid of everything, right? And that's where this came from. Otherkin is where you believe.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, otherkin is like being a werewolf, except you don't actually get to be a werewolf. You just think that you're a wolf inside of a human's body, and it can be literally any animal. But because it's the internet and these are like dumb, retarded tweens.
Call a place like that an asylum? Is this like an online asylum?
Twitter is kind of like an asylum because it's just a giant echo chamber, basically.
Oh boy.
But basically, otherkin is where you just think that you're on the inside, you're an animal, and there's like communities, and they also call themselves Therians in some places, I think. And that face. That sigh, it's so funny. It's the most unintentionally funny thing ever.
Okay, Chaos Tamer has a definition that basically echoes what you just said.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I was right. It is soul crushing. So okay.
Oh yeah, including things that never. Oh wait. You know what else? There's like a continuation of otherkin, and it gets even worse than just animals and elves and dragons.
Okay, who is NIPCO disc?
NIPCO disc is.
Well, he attends Grace. So who is that?
Who are you? NIPCO disc.
Well, maybe he or she doesn't want to say. So.
Oh, don't tell us. Yeah. Keep it a mystery.
You tell us Sunday.
But Dad.
Okay.
Dad, you know. But some people, their otherkin things, their personas, right, are things that didn't exist. You have people who their otherkin image or whatever is stuff from.
All right, whatever it is.
Stuff from Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm just not going to care.
There we go.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I agree, Nancy. That's what it ought to be called, delusional.
Delusional.
Oh, let's see here.
We need otherkin rights ASAP. On all levels.
Here's
all levels except physical.
Jane asks, "Are there still openings for the Israel trip?" The short answer is I don't know. 2 weeks ago there were 10.
Nipko says
I posted that on my blog, but I have not heard anything since. In other words, I've not gotten an announcement that says it's full. So.
Hey, we got 2 questions.
Vladimir says, go ahead. Is this what you were going to ask?
2 things. The first thing
Alex,
is
the eccentric survey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that someone you know?
Somebody I've met, but
all right.
Yeah.
And Vladimir Dow says, "Hey Mike, any chance your book The Unseen Realm will get translated to Russian?"
No.
Why not?
Because I don't have the translation rights to it. Lexham has the translation rights to Unseen Realm.
Well, can we ask them about it?
They won't even do it into Spanish. Okay, that's the largest market. So
what?
The chances of it happening for Russian are about 0.
Well, okay, well.
There's nothing to add.
Oh wait, Dad.
It ain't gonna happen.
Wait, Dad, flick your mic off real quick.
Why? I don't even know how to do it. Okay.
Okay, never mind. There's no hope. I thought there was hope, but there isn't.
For
legal reasons, I had to omit that part of the conversation. We said juicy stuff. Maury roared. It was crazy.
No, Maury did not roar. Vlad asked, "What about Greek?" Vlad, the honest answer is I don't expect Unseen Realm to ever get translated into any language.
What if someone else did the thing I told you about? Would there be legal trouble for the person who does that?
Let's put it this way. I know there are people in other countries that are taking the English of Unseen Realm.
Oh crap, my mic's still off.
And translating parts of it just for their own personal study. That's inevitable. That's going to happen. But as far as the publisher, the company, I don't expect Unseen Realm to ever get translated into any language. So. And I also don't ever expect to get the translation rights to Unseen Realm so that I can do it myself.
There we go.
I was able to negotiate and get the Supernatural translation rights.
We got 3 different people who said that they need it in Spanish.
There's literally nothing I can do about that.
But if someone I knew did it or did the thing that I told you about that we're not going to say on air,
right? Well,
would there be legal trouble for them?
Since I don't know well, of course they would if they try to sell it or distribute it.
Well, not sell it, just throw it, put it out on the internet somewhere.
Well, somebody hiding in their bedroom can go translate it into whatever language they want.
Yeah.
Who's going to know? Okay, but as far as a book that you can buy that's a translation, it's not going to happen.
Not purchasable, just somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Brandon, don't even remind me. I've had actual conversations with my dad about that kind of thing.
About what?
About Calvin. You'll have to take up Mike's torch one day. Be prepared to fight furries and otherkin.
Oh yeah.
Because I keep telling you, by the time you're no longer here anymore, the world's just gonna be like an episode of Black Mirror or The Twilight Zone or something like that. It's gonna be actual insanity. It's gonna be Tumblr personified as a country.
Well,
it's gonna be bright
insane.
pink. It's gonna be dyed, and everyone's gonna have their trigger words printed on their chest.
Oh boy, yeah. Rewrite it and call it something else and get another publisher. That's not going to happen.
I think that guy just described my writing process for every middle school paper.
Yeah, it's like I said,
hey, Dad.
There's nothing I can do about
Dad,
it.
Can a really old teacher? Wait, no, I'm not going to tell the story on the podcast. Never mind. I'll tell you what it was after.
All right.
Okay, actually, no. I'm going to tell it anyway because we're over time as is. But basically, there was an old paper in middle school back in MP3 that I forgot to write, right? Mm-hmm. And my English teacher, Mrs. Miller, told me that she had a machine that she would put all the papers through to see if they were plagiarized, right?
Yeah.
So I downloaded a report off the internet and submitted it, and I got an A+. And it's not even like it wasn't obvious. It was like the person who wrote the original described the action of putting on shoes.
So you had to call her bluff. Is that what you're saying?
Sort of, yeah. And I got an A.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Somebody asked something here. Rewrite it now. I'm gonna sign off. Yeah, we're gonna sign off here shortly too.
Yeah, it's 9/11.
There was something else here.
911.
Now, I thought I saw another question about the translation thing. I guess I can't. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Will asks, what about an audio version? There's already an audio version of Unseen Realm. It's available on Amazon, audible.com.
We should have Siri translate it.
No, there's already an audio version for that. But if the question is an audio version in another language, well, that's not going to happen because somebody needs to read that. They can't just do that on the fly. That would just be a terrible product. But anyway, I mean, this is why I wanted to get translation rights for Supernatural, so I could do stuff like that so that it could be given away. But again, I don't have the rights to the other, and I don't ever foresee getting them. All right, well, let's see here. Yeah, we are over, so we're going to sign off. Calvin, go ahead and sign us off.
Wait, can we stay for another 50 minutes so I can get another more money? No. All right, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, okay, Dad, hypothetically, like if I drove 5 hours to film a video with one of the religious things,
are we off or on?
No, I'm still on.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I'll turn it off first. Let me stop streaming. And, yeah, okay. Hey, Dad, you know what my favorite part of the day is?
What?
Maury.